probably heard the oceans have a garbage problem. Currents and winds collect tons of plastics and other trash into big patches called gyres. Up until now, we thought there were 5 worldwide. But new data collected during a research cruise shows garbage patches are also gathering in Arctic waters. We used to think the northern oceans were relatively pristine. Researchers estimate these patches make up less than 3% of all ocean trash, but that's still more than expected for such a remote area. Fewer people should mean less plastics and trash. In the 5 big gyres to the south of the Arctic, wind drives currents on the ocean surface. But the newer patch in the Arctic is probably driven by deeper ocean movements. Water at different temperatures rises and sinks in big loops that reach from northern seas all the way south to Antarctica. Sometimes this circulation is called the Great Ocean Conveyor Belt. And just like a conveyor belt, this current appears to be dragging trash from the North Atlantic Ocean all the way up to the Arctic. But there is a silver lining. If we address pollution in the mid-latitudes, it could also benefit the fragile ecosystems up north.
The average American throws away an estimated 185 pounds of plastic each year. Scientists say a third of our plastic trash ends up in fragile ecosystems like our oceans. One researcher predicts there will be more plastic in the sea than fish by 2050. And we are already finding garbage on the farthest ends of our planet. Jonathan Vigliotti traced our plastic trash to the Arctic islands in northern Norway.
Time is running out for an unusual patrol. Soon, snow and ice will blanket the Lofoten Islands in Norway's Arctic Circle, making this group's passage here impossible.
This is as remote as it gets.
Yeah.
June Gronseth leads this mission.
How many people live on this island?
Here, actually, none.
Zero.
Zero. We are on our own.
We may be on our own, but everywhere we look, there are unwanted signs of life. Gronseth and her team of volunteers are on plastic patrol, scouring the region for trash.
The ocean cleanup began in 2012 when I first found 2 Moreus basanus, 2 birds trapped in one piece of plastic like this.
Trapped dead?
Trapped and dead on a beach.
That discovery unlocked a dirty secret. This polar paradise has become a garbage dump.
So this is a sampling of just some of the things we've found so far. We've got a Coca-Cola carrier. This says on it that it's from Venezuela. We also have what looks like some sort of motorcycle helmet that's been washed up here. Some of this plastic has been in the water for so long, you can't even make out what it is.
In a 6-year study, scientists traced Arctic plastic back to its source. They found the global conveyor belt of ocean currents, like the Gulf Stream, carries plastic all the way from the Americas and Europe to the Arctic, where it meets a dead end.
Last year alone, over 40 tons of plastic were collected from the islands. A recent cleanup here produced these 4 bags. I mean, these things are so heavy, you can't even lift it.
Scientists say melting ice has even allowed plastic to travel to the northernmost ecosystem. Climate change has also made it easier for research vessels to gain access and measure the problem.
Cool, let's see what we got.
After collecting and analyzing water samples, researchers estimate there are more than 300 billion pieces of plastic in Arctic waters. Most of them are so-called microplastics, the size of a grain of rice, broken down fragments of bigger objects like water bottles, straws, and Q-tips.
This is what happens if you break down milk tops.
I mean, it's so fine.
Yeah.
It looks like powder.
Absolutely.
Dr. Kerry Lewis with England's Exeter University says animals easily confuse this junk for food. She studies the impact this microplastic has on the Arctic food chain.
So what happens if an animal is eating lots of plastic? That plastic sort of gets a bit stuck in its gut, and then it starts to feel full when it hasn't actually got any food. And so what they do is lose weight, and they don't have much energy for reproduction and growth.
It's too early to tell how threatened Arctic animals are. But elsewhere around the world, the results have been deadly.
Garbage, plastic bag.
Which is why June Gronseth is patrolling the Arctic, Earth's last paradise, a new frontier for pollution.
I do hope that all people in the world get their eyes open and stop polluting the ocean. We have to stop now.
It turns out the ocean has more